Hey, I'm sitting in my 2023 Lexus GX460. I got this car in August, and I didn't know if I was going to get the car or not. I mean, honestly, I had just moved back to Ohio from Utah. I was living there just for fun for a couple months. I had a 2022 TRD Pro 4runner. It was a lime rush green. I put about 30,000 miles on that in the Southwest, so a lot of off-roading, a lot of fun. Not super serious like rock crawling and things like that. More so just if I see a dirt trail, I'll take it. Because you don't really have that here in Ohio, where out west you just have this abundance of just trails and just, I don't know, all sorts of little back alleys and things you can take. And I really loved my 4runner, and it really made a lot of sense there. When I moved back here, I don't know why, I just felt like that I do have a little bit of remorse of selling that car. I sold it very impulsively. I missed the rear roll down window the most on my 4runner. That was my favorite feature, because on a nice day like today, open the sunroof and then the rear window, it creates a really nice just airflow. And I missed that. I actually missed that the most for my 4runner. Since it was a TRD Pro, it had the exhaust on it, so it was a bit loud on the highway. And especially high elevation in Utah, it wasn't very powerful. So 80 miles per hour was the speed limit on the highways. And with that car, it was doing about 3,000 RPM. And also I had 33-inch 285 KO2s. I had a lift, so it was working a little bit harder. Not to mention the elevation. And I really enjoy the car, and the payment wasn't too crazy. So I sold the car just because I came back to Ohio and I thought, you know what, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to sell my car. I'm going to drive my dad's old car. So I sold it on an impulse because I felt like there was no use for this car here in Ohio, the 4runner. And then I just drove to Costco one day, and the Lexus dealership was across the street. And I saw the GX there. I said, all right, I'll go give it a test drive. Because I know it's very similar to the 4runner, and it's another popular off-road choice. I test drove it, I drove it home, and just, saw how it looked on the driveway. And then I impulsively bought this car in August. But I didn't realize, because my goal with this car is to make it an off-road build, and kind of like the 4runner. But the 4runner came ready to go off-road, whereas the whereas this car, the GX460, it doesn't have the all the gizmos like multi-terrain, select, standard, crawl. It doesn't have all the 4runner's gizmos and off-road gadgets. You can get multi-terrain select on this car, but it's kind of a weird option that only comes on the mostly on the air suspension models. I wanted to avoid the air suspension models because I knew it wouldn't be good in the long term. So I just wanted to keep it as it was. And then I wanted to make sure I had the Mark Levinson sound system because I love music, but there's some things in this car that are very old school. Like it has a CD player. It's but the big thing that this car I wanted to have was Apple CarPlay. Big thing. And it has it. But there are certain things about the 4runner that I miss that this car has, but it has in limited capacity. I miss the manual, rugged feel of the 4runner. Like even shifting to 4 low and 4 high, it just felt like I was doing something. This car kind of does it for you. I mean, it's still very old school. And now this car has the V8, right? So it feels a little bit more substantial than the 4runner. But the 4runner did feel good too. But this isn't a very powerful V8 either. It's 301 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. So not super powerful, but reliable. Very reliable. And that's the reason why I only felt good about getting this car, because this is essentially the same car as the 4runner, only the V8 model, and it's made on the same assembly line. But I don't have a 360 panoramic view on this car. I don't have some of the features that I wish I had on the 4Runner. Surprisingly, this car lacked certain things that the Toyota model had. And the price difference. When I got my 4Runner, I did not have any dealership markup. So it was I got it for $52,000. I put like seven to 8 grand down on that. And with taxes, it ended up being back at like 52 or something. This car was 63,000, something like that. Brand new 2023 GX460. But the 4runner TRD Pro prices at 2023 were about 57. So the price difference about 4,000 or 5,000 from a TRD Pro 4Runner to kind of a nice GX460. This one's got the luxury package, so it's got captain's chairs in the rear. This car has a lot. And you get a lot more than the 4Runner in terms of power and things like that for just a little bit more money. But as far as looks and things like that, I do like the 4Runner a little bit better. It feels like I can beat on it a little bit more. I mean, this car I can for sure, but I'll get more into this in this next little part. I guess what I didn't realize about the GX460 before buying it impulsively was how much money it would cost to modify this car to be the off-roader I want it to be. So far what I've done to this car, I've gotten full body underbody protection. That was about $1,000. And then about like $500 of labor. I have a front push bar or bull bar. I have a radio install. I have front seat jackers. I have a dash cam wired up. I have a GMRS radio ready to go. And all these mods so far have added up. I've already put about 5 grand into this car so far in terms of parts and labor combined. And I have another about 10 grand to go. I gotta get lights. I have to get my suspension. I have to get my KO2 tires. I'm even gonna try to put the TRD Pro exhaust 4Runner because I'm gonna see if I can get that in this car. I'm gonna see. I have a really good shop that I go to, and I'm gonna see if I can do it. But I will say, this is an expensive endeavor. And the 4Runner, I wish I kept it because it was ready to go. This car, yes, you can take it off-roading a little bit, but I need it. This doesn't have a good, like, solid off-roading suspension off the bat for what I want to do. Not that I want to go crazy rock crawling, but I want to go places that I can. So I'm going to get a Fox suspension setup, 285s. I have to get rock sliders. I have to get. I'm going to do a rear seat delete and add a drawer system. Trying to get this overland ready, even though I don't really plan to do too much overlanding. I want to get more into it, and I want to make this car my car, you know? So there's a lot of things that I want to do to it to get it ready. Yeah, I don't know. It's, this is my little bit story, just my background of why I got this car. And let me just show you around a little bit of it, and see what you think. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the luxury package on this car. So, but I don't have the air suspension. So I do have the Mark Levinson sound system, which is really, really nice. I really appreciate that. Like, the sound system in the 4Runner, the JBL, was really good. This one's definitely better. So you can see I've got a Midland radio down there. I have a dash cam up there. So I'm in the back seat. I thought this would be a little bit easier. But you can tell you have the Mark Levinson because it has the little tweeters here. So, let's see. I think I just broke this off. Okay. I think I just broke that off. That's okay. So, yeah. So, you know, I'm starting my sticker collection on the car. I got these when I didn't take the car to Hawaii, but I was in Hawaii recently, and I got this from Volcanoes National Park and Haleakala National Park. rear of the car, pretty straightforward. I'm not a big fan of the rear looks. I really like the 4Runner's rear looks. Of course, you've got the door that opens this way. This glass, man, I wish it rolled down. I'm gonna probably remove because this one has a luxury package, so I've got the motorized rear seats. So I'm gonna probably delete these and put you know, a drawer system there. I got to get rid of these side steps, get some rock sliders. So this is the Midland radio antenna. This is wired through the ignition, and it's plugged in here and it's mounted here. I've got an extension for it. It's really actually a pretty nifty setup. This is what I had in my 4Runner. Really, really cool. I love it. I've got a national park guidebook. You always got to be ready for that. Seats are nice and comfortable. You know, they got lumbar. Really nice. I don't know if the 4Runner had lumbar on the on the passenger side, the TRD Pro. I've got captain's chairs. I got this little thing for little napkins and stuff. Captain chairs are really nice. I just feel if I get the rear seat delete, then I won't have a potential third row. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. But yeah, and I recently just got this bull bar that, if you can see, there are little mounts here for light rails, so I got to get those. And then I also have my little Raptor lights that I can show you when I turn on the car. You can't really see it too much from here, but let's see if you can. Maybe you can see the skid plates. I don't know. But I've got full skid plates underneath, full underbody protection, and I think it makes the car a little bit more rigid, to be honest. I do like these wheels and tires, but I got 17-inch TRD Pro wheels that I got to put on there. But once I get the 285, once I get the lift, I got to get rock sliders. That's gonna make life a little bit easier. And then, yeah, this is pretty much my car. I really like it so far. There's just some things that I miss about the 4Runner, like the rear window. Certain things I don't like this car doesn't have sometimes. Like, for instance, what I really don't like is this center thing here. Doesn't tell you what music you're listening to, which I find really, really annoying. And it doesn't tell you the navigation, like what street to turn on or whatever. The 4Runner had that. The 4Runner has this exact same screen, but it doesn't. This one doesn't tell you what music you're listening to, which is really, really annoying, because sometimes I don't like this split view, and I like to be able to see what song's coming next or whatnot. Just really kind of silly features that this car should have, but maybe they're just lazy. I don't think I use multi-terrain select a lot, but to be honest, you know, this car has a lot of other features, like, you know, it's basically a Toyota, but this time, yeah, dude, I wish I got the 4Runner with the heated steering wheel. That came on the 23 models. You know, still, this car has a lot of manual features that are really, really cool. And I really like the Mark Levinson sound system. I think that's really great. CD player, so I've been building a collection. Apple CarPlay is really nice. These standard maps are really cool too. I always like that when it works. The radio. Let's see. There's probably no one here, but you don't always get weather out here either, so maybe there's no one here, but I mean, this is really nice when you're going off-roading, for sure. Then let me show you the Raptor lights, I guess, is what people call them. So you can see there's a couple of them on there. They look pretty cool. They look a lot cooler at night. But yeah, I really like it so far. It's a good car. It's an expensive build. I think by the time I'm done with this car, it's going to be about 20,000 of parts and stuff and labor, everything combined. So it's an expensive endeavor, but just a little bit walk around. I'm not a YouTuber, really, so this is just kind of a unscripted video. But thanks for joining, and I'll be continuing to probably make more videos as I build this car.